If you have no idea what Beyblade is, you're probably watching this like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? What's up, everyone? It's your boy Floz MG, back with another episode of Tear Up. This time I'm going to be ranking Metal Fusion Beyblades, which are the only good type of Beyblades, the Metal Saga ones. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, you don't deserve to be watching this video. But rather, do your research about Beyblade and then come back. Let's get right into it, shall we? Before this video starts, I just want to say that only a small percentage of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed. So if you like this video and want to see more like it, hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost anything, and you can always change your mind in the future. Now back to the video. The rankings for this video are as follows: God tier, Battleblade Champions, Average, Sleepouts, and Cancelled. Alright, the first one we have up is Storm Aquario. And I know, Aquario sounds very similar to Aquarius because it's somewhat-ish what it's based off. Most Beyblades are based off of constellations in the sky. So that's mainly where you're gonna get these names from. Nothing to do with zodiacs. But either way, some abilities about Storm Aquario. It has a certain function within its performance tip where it shifts, changes its shape a little bit, but it makes it go really fast, giving it the illusion like it disappears. And that same function is able to make it seem like it's multiplying, but they're really just sort of like after images, which creates Aquario's special move, Infinite Assault. If you have no idea what Beyblade is, you're probably watching this like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? But as a Bey itself, Aquario, I think I'm going to put Aquario smack dab in the middle at average at best. I mean, that's just me, giving us a sort of a baseline whether or not to go up and down. You know what I mean? Alright, next up we have Rock Aries. Aries is based off the Ram constellation. And a few Beys have unique abilities and features and all that sort of thing. I can get into that as I progress. But Rock Aries' most unique feature is in its Eternal Defense spin track. Sort of it's free rotating, so if a Bey is attacking it, it can just tilt up, the incoming Bey would hit the spin track and just go by, creating that sort of special move called Windstorm Assault. That's Aries' most unique feature, and Aries' special move is Horn Throw Destruction, where it throws its opponent into the air. I will say, with the horns of the ram, that would make a very good special move too. In my opinion, honestly, to me, Aries is cooler than Aquario, so I'm going to put Aries up at Battleblade Champion. Again, my opinion. Next up, we have Dark Bull. The Dark Fusion Wheel. I really like the Dark Fusion Wheel, mainly just because of the design of it. It's a 12-bladed fusion wheel, and as well as Bull's spin track, it actually kind of looks like the horns of a bull. And you'd think with this they would name the Bey Taurus, but no, it's Bull. Why? Because some of these Beyblades, their names are just the animals or whatever. And because of that spin track, Bull does specialize in uppercut attacks, so much that its special move is Dark Bull Red Horn Uppercut. To me, I personally really like Dark Bull, but I will say, to me, it's not God tier worthy. Just enough for Battleblade Champions though. Moving up, next we have Storm Capricorn. I can only describe it as the goat constellation, what Capricorn is. It's technically not exactly a sheep or anything like that. But either way, Capricorn's performance tip is a quick performance tip where it has a little, a slide on the axle. Does that make a lot of sense? I have absolutely no idea. But because of that, it tends to jump randomly throughout the entire stadium. And you can never predict where it's coming from. That is a very unique effect for a Bay, but like I have that Beyblade Storm Capricorn, and for actual battles, I'm not a fan of it. I'm sorry, but Storm Capricorn, you're a canceled boy. Sorry. Next up, we never hear exactly what the actual name of this Beyblade is. It's only ever referred to as Cyber. I mean, the energy ring does look like that of Pegasus, and in the show, it is compared to Pegasus a lot, but for now we're just gonna call it Cyber. Cyber, I will say, is one of the most unique bays in Beyblade Metal Fusion, because I think it was the first Beyblade to introduce a different color fusion wheel than just the regular, like, silvery metallic. This fusion wheel is actually red, and I will say, I am a big fan of that. And because of the newness and the uniqueness, like, it's not a Battleblade Champion, but if it were just like any other bay, like with sort of like a metallic coloring, it would have just been like sleep outs, maybe even canceled. But because of the uniqueness of the coloring, I am going to put it up in average. I mean, that's just my ruling. Next up, we have Earth Eagle, based on the constellation Aquila. Honestly, that would have been a much better name, but I guess not everyone would have understood the term Aquila as opposed to Eagle. Earth Eagle is a bay with high defensive power and more special moves than I can even count. There's freaking Metal Wing Smash, Smashing Claw, Diving Crush, Counter Stance, and in Beyblade Metal Masters, that series, he makes a new special move called Shining Tornado Buster. I mean, goddamn, is that enough special moves? But honestly, one of the specific features about this bay makes it one of my favorites, and it's because I think it was the first to introduce the wide defense performance tip, which is like, as it is, it's like a wide defensive performance tip. A lot of area to come in contact with the ground, doesn't really get moved that easily. Honestly, and it's just it's a nice bay to look at. In my opinion, Earth Eagle is a god tier bay. You will never change my mind. Oh, next up, another one of my favorite bays. We have freaking Burn Fire Blaze. Burn Fire Blaze is actually a phoenix. Why they came up with the name Burn Fire Blaze, I don't know, but I love that name. And also, this was the first Beyblade to introduce a performance tip where the tip of it was made out of metal, causing a lot of friction, making it a really good, and I think it's a stamina type bay. That is one of my favorite reasons that this bay exists. Battleblade's Champion or God tier, I don't know. You know what? Screw it. It is a God tier bay to me! Next up, we have Mad Gasher. This is based off of the crab constellation Cancer, but calling the bay Cancer... Yeah, I don't think that would have really flown by with studio executives and such. Plus, calling the bay Mad Cancer, there's really no uniqueness to this bay at all. Nothing that seemed really interesting about it. So, sorry, Mad Gasher, but you're a canceled boy. Next up, we have a bay that I hold dear and close to my heart. We have Evil Gemios. Well, maybe not the evil part, but Gemios definitely, because I am actually a Gemini. And Gemios is based off of the Gemini constellation, aka the twins. And in the show, there are actually two bladers that control this bay, which you think would be more effective, but not really. I mean, there really isn't that much of a uniqueness to the way Evil Gemios looks. But because I hold it dear and close, because I'm a Gemini, I am going to put it smack dab in the middle at average. I mean, that's just me, though. I feel like I say that after every single rank I do. Forget it. We haven't had any in sleep outs yet. I should start putting some there. Next up, we have the Forbidden Bay. The only bay that rotates to the left instead of the right. We have Lightning El Drago. Honestly, this is one of my favorite bays. And it belongs to, I think I'm going to say, my favorite character in the show, Ryuga. I mean, that name just sounds powerful. Ryuga. Lightning El Drago is one of the very few bays that has like a sort of mode change. Its energy ring is like 3 dragon heads, and depending on which way you put it on, it can change from either barrage mode to upper mode. And when it's in upper mode, that's when he performs his dark move, Dragon Emperor Soaring Bite Strike. And I mean, oh, that name just sounds badass. You know, why am I deliberating? It's a goddamn freaking bay! You will never change my mind on that. Next up, another one of the classics, we have Rock Leone. I will say feature-wise about this bay, there's not exactly anything unique, but it's the first defense type that we come into contact with. And actually, an interesting thing is in the show, Rock Leone is able to control the wind and create freaking tornadoes around itself. With freaking Lion Gale Force Wall, that's just a regular tornado, it can pick up a bunch of debris like rocks and throw it at the opponent, that move being called Lion 100 Fang Fury. It can create 3 massive tornadoes around itself called King Lion Tearing Blast. It can jump up into the air, flip itself over, and then cast a tornado downwards, calling it King Lion Reverse Wind Strike. But then again, that move was brought in Beyblade Metal Masters. There'll be another video on that one in the future. But as a bay itself, there really isn't that much interesting about it. Although those moves are insane, I do think I'm going to have to put Leone in just about average. I'm sorry. Next up, we have one of the most powerful bays in the series. We have Flame Libra. It's a stamina type bay with a very interesting function in its performance tip, called the Eternal Sharp Performance Tip, which is like freely rotating, giving it magnificent balance. No matter how many times it's hit or pushed over, it can almost get back up immediately. Almost. And in this show, Libra has these abilities working like send out vibrations, like supersonic vibrations. It has a move Sonic Wave where it just shoot out a sonic wave of vibrations. I don't know how else to describe it. It has an ability called Sonic Buster, where it can turn like the ground around it into sand. And then there's a move, then it has its special move called Libra Inferno Blast, which basically shoots a giant green light into the sky with a deafening pitch. And it basically just draws your opponent in and makes him sleep out because it's a shockwave. Again, I think I have to put it in just about average because there really is no uniqueness. Actually, the Eternal Sharp, average. Next up we have the bay Rock Orso, based off the constellation, you guessed it, Ursa Major. How many of you are learning that for the first time? That Ursa is the bear constellation, aka the Big Dipper. I will say the main part of uniqueness of Rock Orso is its energy ring, where it looks like it has 2 bear claws on the side of it if you can look carefully. Other than that, that's really it. It belongs to a blader in the show called Kumasuke Kumare. That's the only thing I like about this bay is its blader's name. Other than that, there really isn't much of anything, but I'm going to put it in sleep outs, because I like it more than Capricorn and Gasher. Next up, we have the main Beyblade, the hero Beyblade of the show. We have Storm Pegasus. Pegasus's performance tip is made out of rubber, causing a lot of friction, and it's able to make it go like very fast. And Pegasus, and because of that function, it does have a good amount of special moves. Pegasus can fly up into the sky. The sky? What the fuck is the sky? Pegasus can fly up into the sky and come shooting down with the special move Pegasus Star Blast Attack. And because of the rubber on its performance tip can make it go very fast, it can circle very fast around the stadium, causing a vacuum and an updraft, lifting the opponent's Beyblade up into the air, and then Pegasus can deliver a devastating attack from below with the move called Pegasus Stormbringer. I mean, just that name, yo. I mean, it's Pegasus, the winged horse that soars through space! There's only one place it deserves to be. Not just in God tier, but at the very front of God tier is where it will always belong. We're coming to the last few bays. Next up we have Thermal Pisces. Pisces, again, the Pisces constellation. The uniqueness about this bay, there really isn't much of anything, except for what the blader uses it for. The thermal fusion wheel has a similar construction as like the wings of an airplane and similar sort of, how should I put it? Similar functions, because that can allow the bay to 1, float, 2, change the air pressure, and 3, change the air current around it. And definitely change the air pressure and how the opponent's Beyblade moves with its special move, Distortion Drive. Which, honestly, that is a very clever name. I mean, I gotta give props to the show riders. I mean, really that's the only interesting thing from the bay. Everything else is thanks to the show, so just the bay itself, I kind of have to put it into sleepouts, because, again, I like that bay more than I do Capricorn and Gasher. Capricorn and Gasher were just big letdowns for me. Next up we have Flame Sagittario. The most unique feature about this bay is the Claw 145 spin track, where Sagittario has like 3 claws that can like extend from his spin track, creating the special move Sagittario Flame Claw. Oh yeah, based off the constellation Sagittarius, if you didn't catch that already. Now I'll say this is one of the functions of the bay that can go into real life, and it's also a reason why I love this bay. I just love it a lot. So you know what, Sagittario? You are a Battlebladers champion. Change my mind. You can never. Not really a big fan of this bay. It's rock Scorpio. And really the main uniqueness about this bay is that its performance tip is covered in spikes. So it's good for battling in liquids because the spikes won't slow it down. In fact, it'll just make it speed up. Other than that, there really isn't anything about Scorpio, so sorry, buddy. You're a cancel boy. And actually, no, I'll keep you there ahead of Gasher, because Gasher is awful. Next up, we have one of the bays that was introduced way towards the end of the series, called Poison Serpent. I will say, I kind of love how this bay looks, because it has 15 evenly sized blades. The spin track, I believe, is a Switch 145. So it has 2 modes, attack and defense. Depends on how you flip it over. To me, it's just a beautiful looking bay. And you know where we put beautiful looking bays? We put them up in God tier. Alright, we're down to the last 2. First up, we have Earth Virgo. Virgo, as you can guess, is based off the Virgo constellation. And I will say the most unique feature about Earth Virgo is its spin track, where it has 2 metal balls in it, where it causes big centrifugal force. That's the word I'm looking for. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Like, the metal balls can slide inwards and outwards from the bay. Like, if they're outwards, it makes the bay spin faster and much more powerful. Whereas if they're inwards, it's like much higher defense, I believe. I could easily be wrong, but honestly, I'm not a big fan of this bay. I'm sorry, but it's a canceled motherfucker. And the last bay we have is Dark Wolf. This one I was a really big fan of because, like, I have this bay and I just really enjoy like the way it feels in my hand. Dark Wolf's special move, Darkness Howling Blazer. Oh my god, just the name of it is awesome. Yep, Dark Wolf, you know exactly where you belong. You are a Battlebladers champion, Dark Wolf. Well, I think these are going to be my rankings. As you can tell, I am very clearly a weeb for Beyblades. I've been Floz MG. This has been Tier Up, ranking the Metal Fusion Beyblades, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Bye!
Bitch, I ain't your hero. Don't call me a savior. Think I'm out of control. That's just my behavior. I'm bringing the house down, major devastation. You don't gotta worry, cause it don't matter. I'm antisocial.